Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Rosie Chu, and welcome to Bay Area People. Now, this morning, we'll learn about an after-school program that can use your experience and know-how as a mentor. With over $1 million of grant support, over 300 youth will grow and have a chance to become our future leaders with your help. And one of Oakland's long-standing nonprofits has taken a chance and taking charge and is walking the streets at night in order to provide community leadership and help reduce violence. We'll find out how their night walks are helping to create a ceasefire in some of Oakland's most violent neighborhoods. Also today, we'll meet a woman who is credited with bringing green to the city. Her work has resulted in over 15,000 trees planted in Oakland communities, and her work in urban forestry has been recognized throughout the country. That and more today, right here on Bay Area People. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message. Well, if you're taking a stroll in your Oakland neighborhood and you notice the beautifully tree-lined streets, you can blame, or rather congratulate, my first guest today. Her name is Kimba Shakur. She is the founder of Urban Relief, and she's been nationally recognized as a woman at the forefront of urban forestry. And I say blame you because...
You can blame me.
I can blame you just to be fun. But the thing is, you decided several years ago that we needed to beautify our streets. Why?
Well, when I first moved to Oakland, particularly West Oakland, I noticed there wasn't a single tree on the block, and many of the areas looked like that. At the same time, I noticed, that we were surrounded by freeways. And you had a lot of youth just kind of hanging around with nothing to do. I knew that the unemployment rate was high, the school dropout rate was high, recidivism rate in prisons and jails were high. So I wanted to do something to make the people the stewards of their own environment, and I felt like trees was just a ready match.
I was going to say, how did you translate, planting trees and helping youth at the same time, which is, really what a core portion of the program is about? Well,
there's many benefits to trees, from air quality to water quality to food to greening. So we first noticed that a lot of communities of color or poorer communities had less trees. As I toured throughout the country, I quickly noticed that. But I just felt like it was something sorely needed, and the youth needed something to do.
And you planted over 15,000 trees just in the city of Oakland itself.
No, actually, we planted about 1,000 in Richmond and in North Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you expanded your borders a little bit.
Yes.
So how difficult is it to actually get the trees and plant them? Number one, it's not cheap to purchase the materials, as well as digging up the sidewalk, and as we see these young people doing it here.
Well, it's not. It takes a lot. We have a very supportive team. The city is involved, the state, the federal government, the Forest Service. So it really has taken a lot of people. Scientists are involved, teachers, students. I think that's what's just been so nice, is being able to bring the community members in different sectors of society together to plant trees.
So you reach out to the kids in schools, and as we saw in the video, you train them in how to do this, what we call urban forestry. And you saw also on the footage that the kids learn how to identify trees and climb the trees and what have you. So is that part of the whole package of Urban Relief, to train the kids for the purpose of?
Well, we do have an awesome scientist named Greg Tarver Jr. He's PhD, and he has a program called UFest program, and we are currently in 2 schools here in Oakland. But, and we also have students involved in arboriculture. Arboriculture is the science of trees. So that's just one part of our program. Our program is also known for research around the benefits of trees. We've worked closely with Center for Urban Forestry Research to plant trees, and worked closely with a lot of UC Berkeley and UC Davis students. So we've actually been like on the forefront of the tree movement, and involving the youth, particularly local youth, is, one of the most positive things you can do, because they're from the environment and they can grow up with the trees and continue to pass down that legacy.
With 15,000 trees planted, is there still room for more trees?
How are they? The city of Oakland's tree canopy cover is currently at 12 to 15%. According to AB 32's guidelines, it should be at 40%. So we have a ways to go. Actually, a Million Tree Initiative should be instituted here in the city of Oakland.
Now that discounts the open spaces where you have trees, parks and places of that nature?
I believe a lot of the parks can use some trees too.
Wow. So Million trees, and you've made a teeny little dent. How are you funded? How are you able to purchase the trees and do all this manpower?
A variety of ways. We do events, we do fundraisers. Our main funder has been the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection and the Forest Service. They really recognize our work. And we're still looking for new ways.
You've been recognized in People magazine too, and as well as national shows across the way. So has that really helped push the organization to new heights?
Oh, yeah, I think so, because we've actually gotten a lot of calls from all over the state asking how can we start urban reliefs in their community. I think this program can be replicated in other areas. I'd like to see it in other poor communities of color. And it's a shovel-ready project. It's a project that all over America can get the job done. We need to sustain our forests. We need to deal with issues of climate change and pollution. So forestry and the simple act of planting a tree is a simple way to do it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And we'll let people know how to contact you if they want more information. So if you want to plant trees in your neighborhood, you can find out more about Urban Relief by contacting them at their Oakland office. Call them at 510-601-9062 or visit them at urbanrelief.org. All right, coming up next on Bay Area People and Community Citizens are walking the Oakland streets at night in order to bring peace and calm to the neighborhoods. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
All right.
Well, the hard truth is that certain Oakland neighborhoods have become playgrounds for gangs and violence and crime. Now, violence has become an everyday occurrence, but for one nonprofit, it's time to fight back. The Oakland Community Organization, otherwise known as OCO, has created a Ceasefire Lifelines initiative, and part of the outreach is walking the streets at night. For details on this initiative is Pastor Billy Dixon. He is an OCO board member, and he's also the senior pastor at Thy Word Ministries Church of God in Christ. Thank you very much for joining us. And OCO has been a mainstay organization in Oakland for many, many years. And you've been involved in how many years with OCO?
I've been OCO for the last 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yes. And just tell the audience a little bit about why OCO exists. What is its mission?
Oakland Community Organizing is a group of faith-based leaders that come together for various issues, from anything from violence to immigration to schools, to improve our communities, to make them better for the citizens of that community.
Well, I know that OCO has been involved in many different issues, as you said, over the years, and this latest spat, if you will, of violence in Oakland really has many people concerned. So OCO, one of the many groups, have stepped up, and you're doing this night walking. That's what we want to talk about. Why are you going out there and making a statement with people walking the neighborhood?
Well, night walks are very important to the community. It shows that the faith leaders are coming out of their churches showing that they care and that we love them and that we're concerned about what's going on in our streets. Many of us live in the city of Oakland. We live here, we play here, we work here. We want to show the community that it's more than just coming to church, but we love them. We want the violence to stop, and we understand how the violence affects every citizen in Oakland, and from every range, from every part of Oakland, whether they're on the flats or in the hills, it affects their outcome. And so we decided from all over Oakland to come over into East Oakland and start walking.
So you're asking your congregation and just Oakland citizens to join together to walk. What does that entail?
Well, it entails, we all meet at a certain place this week. We'll be at Mount Sinai on 86 and Olive, and we all come out and we ask all the churches to send representatives, or the pastors themselves come out. I mean, lately a lot of pastors have been coming out, and they all come out and we come together and we have a brief training so they know what to expect, what's going to happen, and then we all go out and just walk. We don't bother anybody, we just walk and let the community know we're there. And lately they've been honking their horns. We've been doing it since October, and these guys have been honking their horns and they've been waving at us, and the community has received us well. And even now we go some places and they have water stands for us, and it's been really great.
So do you meet at different locations each Friday?
Each Friday,
once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
Each Friday we meet at a certain house of faith or a place, usually
so you rotate?
Rotate it all throughout the city,
right.
Through East Oakland right now. Which
we have some photographs, and we'll just show one of the events. And we have anywhere from how many people to?
We have anywhere from 30 ranging up to 60 to 70 people the last.
Oh, that's
outing.
a lot. That's a big crowd.
Yeah, and they're coming from all over. I mean, we have all denominations, all religions. We have all races, all creeds coming together for one cause: to stop the violence in Oakland.
Now, there's a saying that says, there's safety in numbers. So when you have 30 people or 60 people, it seems to be, quote unquote, a little safe. How does that make the community feel good about themselves the other 6 nights of the week?
Well, they know that there are a group of people. Remember, these are pastors in their local community.
Right.
So they see their local pastor that they see going to church, and they see them out walking on that Friday night. They'll know there's a place they can come to where there's safety, where there's refuge, where there's somebody that'll talk to them, where there's someone that they can come and just drop off information to. There's always something there for them. So they know that at any time, that pastor in that community is right there.
Is that one of the answers that you have to quell the violence in Oakland? Because right now it's been quiet, but several weeks ago there were shootings and killings. It seemed as if it was several days a week.
Well, the walking is just one part of the ceasefire measure. The ceasefire measure has the community, the police department, the city, services, and all type of people working together coming, because we know we can't arrest our way out of this problem.
Right.
We know we can't, the jails and prisons are packed, we can't send her. So we come together as a unit, offering people hope and jobs, and not jobs, well, opportunity for a job, but we offer them services and things like that to help improve their life. When we're talking about the people that are at risk for violence, the shooters and those that could be shot. And we offer them that thing. We found out that only 1% of the people in Oakland are doing all the crime. So 99% of the people in Oakland are great people. We're great people. So we try to target that 1% and let them know that we love them and that we care about them. And we don't want to see them dead. We don't want to see them in prison, but we love them.
Right.
And we want to encourage them.
Well, and it's not just, it is an organization made up of many members of the church, but it's also the community at large. And so OCO as an entity has programs.
Oh, we have many things. Like I say, we outreach, and not only that, through the churches, through our faith base, through all the multi-religions that serve in OCO, we all come together and we offer many things from our local churches, but OCO is the base that brings us together, that allows us to work together toward a common cause of ending violence, in this case in Oakland.
So you think that by walking and making it known to the general community at large, that they know that you're there to support them and that it's a safe way of speaking out?
It's the safest way we found out.
Okay.
And we walk, and like I said, people are really getting to know us. They're getting used to seeing those white jackets. And, you know, at first we went out, they were like, how long is this going to last?
Right.
They even had challenges. You guys not going to be here. But since October, we haven't left yet. And now they're like, they're not going anywhere. And with the police department working together with us, doing their end of the bargain, that people know that Oakland's come to be a safe place.
Right. And OCO is an organization that's stable, that's going to be there.
OCO's been here for over 35, 40 years. It's been here as long as I've almost been alive. They've done great things. They're going to continue to do great things. We have big plans for Oakland. We plan to be a part of the healing of the entire Oakland and all the communities, not just in the hills, but right here on the flatlands, making it great.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pastor, for joining us today. And if you'd like to join the Oakland Community Organization and any of the great community projects, you can contact them at area code 510-639-1444 or visit oaklandcommunity.org. But coming up next here on Bay Area People, still ahead, we have a $1.2 million grant that will help prevent over 300 students from dropping out of school. Details when we return. Stay with us. Well, several local agencies that worked in the area of mentoring collaborated for a federal grant to prevent students from dropping out of school. The result, a $1.2 million grant to help high-risk youths. Joining me now is Bob Getch. He is the president of Richmond's Be a Mentor Incorporated, and Geraldine Asu, a mentoring program director of the East Bay Asian Youth Center. You are two of the four organizations that got together, and you've created the, give me the title, East Bay
Mentoring Partnership.
And that's an umbrella group.
Correct.
And the purpose is?
Well, the purpose, as you said, is to identify kids that are at risk of dropping out of high school and providing them with the one-on-one or in some cases group mentoring so that they can have some guidance and some coaching and build their enthusiasm and feel like that they have some purpose in life, that they'll do well in school. And
well, how do you identify a young person that might be dropping out of school? At what age do you start looking for those kinds of markers?
Well, actually, we're working with children, youth between the ages of 11 and 15, but the truth of the matter is that it starts much earlier than that. Kids can be identified as a potential school dropout very early in elementary school if they're not attending school often, or they're falling behind, or they're not reading at grade level.
Wow. I had no idea that you can, I guess that makes sense, that you can spot somebody who's having issues with schooling and not very happy and progressing in their work. So, Jordan, you've been working with a lot of students and mentors at the same time. Is that what you see with, I know you were working with an organization called Oasis here in Oakland, an East Bay youth agency. What about the Asian group of kids that you work with? Same kind of thing? Is this generic all the way across the line, no matter what kind of ethnic background?
Absolutely. With Oasis, we had our main programs were in the Oakland Chinatown and also in China Hill at Lincoln Elementary and Cleveland Elementary. And certainly with the merge with UBC, I can definitely say that across elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, underserved youth are underserved youth.
No matter what. So what does $1.2 million bring to the table? It sounds like a lot of money.
Well, it's really not a tremendous amount of money split over 5 agencies.
Okay.
But it's sufficient. We anticipate that we will provide mentors to between 300 and 400 children, and you know, it just absolutely makes a tremendous difference. The data tells us that kids with risk factors, they're living in neighborhoods where maybe there's crime and violence and poverty. You might wonder why some rise above that and have successful, prosperous lives, and others repeat the cycle. The data tells us is that those kids that had an adult, confidant, counselor, coach, guide that was paying attention to them and making them feel important in life, those are the ones that rise above. Okay. And so the more of our children that can have that personal contact with adults where the bar is set high and they expect
I'm going to say expectations, because you have somebody who's saying, hey, you know, you could do better, and just kind of coaching them.
Exactly.
And Jody, that's your experience, because I know that a lot of college students from UC Berkeley, for instance, have become mentors to young kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my main goals and visions is really to have the young people in Oakland who are growing up in Oakland, once they grow up, to become mentors to young people today.
Exactly.
So we're not talking about just adults. We're talking about college students?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're talking about the community.
Okay.
We actually look for 2 types of mentors. One, you know, the kids really relate very well to a college student. It's, you know, sort of somebody to hang with, and yet they have made it through probably a lot of the same issues, and they're successfully going through college and getting their education. But we also like the more senior adults that have more life experience and provide that kind of coach as to how will you be successful in life, and here's some of the stories, here's some of the things that I've been through that might help you.
So we're encouraging people to contact you to sign up to become mentors. What is the criteria, very quickly before we run out of time? If I wanted to be a mentor and I called you, what are you going to say to me? What do I have to do to qualify? I
would say I'm looking for caring, positive, committed folks who are interested in being a role model to a young person.
How committed?
Committed for at least a year to working with a young person, at least a year. And for our agency in particular, 3 hours a week plus 1 hour of training per week.
1 hour training per week and 3 hours
of working with the young person.
Okay,
yeah.
So some kind of a regular basis in contact, that would be by phone, in person?
Most of our mentoring happens in person, and then there are sort of, there are check-ins.
And is it really helping them with homework, or do you go out to the park and go see a movie? I mean, how much of this mentoring?
All the above.
All the above. So it's just life.
Yep.
About everything. Okay, what we're going to do is thank you for being here, and we're going to give out information, because as you've heard, mentors are needed. So if you're interested and you want to find out more, contact the East Bay Mentoring Partnership through Robert's nonprofit, Be a Mentor Incorporated. Now call 1-888-BE-A-MENTOR and ask for extension 178, or visit them at beamentor.org, EPMP. And we've run out of time, so thank you very much for joining us. You can go ahead and visit KTVU.com for more information on today's show. And I will see you again next week right here on Bay Area People. So see you then. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.